Title: Ashes of Yesterday. At just 18, barely free from the grip of secondary school, he faced a weight too heavy for his narrow shoulders: the death of their father. As the firstborn of 4, the silence left behind by the man who raised them wasn't just painful, it was loud. Responsibilities clung to him like a second skin. He didn't cry in front of the others, not at the burial, not in the days that followed. Someone had to be the strong one. With no clear path forward and their mother drained by both grief and death, he packed his life into a nylon bag and left home. The destination was Lagos, a city whispered about in the village as a land of gold and noise. His step-senior sister, much older and distant, had agreed to house him in her cramped one-room apartment in Ikorodu. It wasn't much, but it was something. Lagos was nothing like the stories. There was no gold. Only dust, sweat, and concrete. He began picking up small jobs, packing goods in warehouses, hawking bottled water, assisting in a furniture shop. The money barely fed him. He could count the number of clothes he had on one hand, and they were always soaked in sweat. His only shoes had cracked soles. Sometimes, food was just rice with salt and water. Other times, it was nothing. His phone, an old device handed down from his father, had been hanging on by a thread. The screen had long stopped lighting up, and he only knew of calls or text by the weak vibration or the dim blinking light. He held onto it anyway, partly because of the contacts, mostly because it still had his father's last voicemail, a birthday message sent months before the man passed. One night, after 12 hours of labor at a biscuit factory where the air was thick with heat and flour dust, he returned home with his shirt drenched and eyes aching. He collapsed on the wooden bench inside the room. Just then, the phone vibrated and blinked. A message had entered. He tried pressing the screen, tapping it against his palm, restarting it. Nothing. The phone was blind. He sighed, dropped it on the wooden table, and began to unlace his shoes. Then his stepsister's phone rang. Her eyes widened even before she answered. He watched her mouth fall open, her voice crack. She screamed. His heart pounded. Then came the words. Words he would never forget. Daddy is dead. He stared at her, confused. What do you mean? Daddy is already. No. Our own father. Your real dad. He's gone. Time slowed. Air became harder to breathe. He fell to his knees before he realized he was falling. No sound escaped his throat, but his chest was on fire. She wept loudly. He wept in silence. That night, they cried until their eyes gave up. No one slept. The street outside carried on like nothing had happened, horns blaring and generators humming, but in that small, suffocating room, the world had ended. Again. Days passed, then weeks. He wanted to run from the pain, but there was nowhere to go. So he worked more. From dawn till dark. Sometimes 2 shifts in different factories. His palms became calloused, his skin 2 shades darker. But deep inside, he knew he wasn't just running. He was climbing. Slowly, painfully, one step at a time. He saved every kobo he could. Bought a second-hand phone. Got a better-paying job as a delivery assistant. When that boss cheated him, he walked away and found another. He didn't have much, but he refused to beg. His pride wasn't arrogance, it was survival. Years rolled by. His siblings back home finished school, one by one, because he made sure the little he earned got to them. Even if it meant he wore the same pair of trousers for a year. One evening, as he stood on a pedestrian bridge in Lagos Island, the wind blowing dust into the city's restless night, his phone rang. It was his younger brother. Brother, I passed my WAEC. I made all my papers. He smiled. For the first time in years, a full smile. Everything he had endured, the hunger, the grief, the humiliation, the cracked shoes, the broken phone, the cold factory nights, it all made sense. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was building something. From ashes, he was becoming fire.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks.